All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining me. I guess kind of your reaction now that you've had a little bit of time to digest the most recent game against North Georgia. 16-point lead with 7.5 to go. Just came up on the losing end.
Yeah, basketball is a game of runs, but the problem with that run is that a lot of that was self-inflicted. I think we had 9 turnovers in the last 7.5 minutes. 5 or 6 of them was before we even got the ball across half court. So, I think the one thing is being strong with the basketball, making better decisions, obviously, recognizing presses also, and how to attack certain presses. So, that's something we need to work on. And, we had young guards out there and just didn't have quite the experience that they probably needed to handle that situation. So, we also missed 4 free throws in that stretch. I think we were 6 for 10 from the free throw line. So, a combination of those things, and then they made a couple big threes and got some points off our turnovers. Just turned that game around in a hurry. And, I hate it because I thought we really played well and executed our stuff to get that lead. And hated to see us on the short end of that one.
I think because things started to roll. I mean, season high, shooting 44% from the field, as well as 50% from 3. AP as well as Aaliyah, 12 points apiece. Deja having 8 as well. From on paper, it seemed that everything was going well for you guys in the right direction. But I think, as you noted earlier, it's about finishing the game and playing all 40 minutes.
Yeah, they just turned the heat up, and we just didn't respond well. But the other part of the game, after the 7-0 run to start the game, I thought we played excellent. I thought we executed our stuff very well. We got very good shots, and on top of that, we made shots, which is important. Shot the 3 well. Deja came out and made a couple of high post jumpers. Aaliyah made some high post jumpers. We scored some around the basket. So thought we did some very good things in what we needed to do to control the game. It's just we did, when the heat got turned up on us, we just didn't respond very well.
And I think you touched upon it, the offense, the press offense against a full court press. You're going to be seeing that again against Lander. Now, Lander may press differently than North Georgia does. So I guess talk about the press offense and executing.
Yeah, most pressing teams, have different presses. I know Lander's probably got 3, and they try to change it up a little bit. So I think that's the important thing, recognizing the presses and how to attack each one, because they're a little different. How you attack a passive zone like a 2-2-1 versus how you attack a press where they're trapping hard on the initial inbounds pass versus trapping a run and jump type press. So they're all a little different in how you attack it. So I think recognition is important. And I think the other thing is just making sure that, number one, when we do get trapped, that we don't panic, that we're strong with the basketball, and that we've got the correct outlets, and we know where to look for those outlets. And then once we get out of the traps, then I think you've got to be in the attack mode initially to see if you can make them pay for your press. Because just getting it over across half court and setting up your offense, that's all well and good, but then you're not penalizing them for pressing. So I think, you've got to attack the press, and I think we did at times here in Pembroke, but then we did a poor job at times and turned it over way too much against their press.
I think after a month of playing AP as well as Courtney having significant minutes, both being freshman guards, have you seen that? How have you seen their improvement over the past month as they've gotten a lot more playing time?
Yeah, I think they're getting better. I think again they need to be a little more confident with the basketball, confident in their ability that they can break down the defense and be strong with the ball. I think. Probably Courtney more so than AP, just because Courtney, AP's been forced to run the point and do a lot more handling. But I think Courtney needs to be a little more aggressive and strong and attacking with her handling and be confident with her handling and making decisions off that. But, I think they've both gotten better. They were all point guards in high school, including Anaya, and that's what I talked to them after the game. I said, look, y'all were point guards in high school, but, they're not seeing the pressure that they see on the college level. And I think, the speed of the game speeds up, and it's just it's an adjustment there, but they're getting better.
And when facing off against Lander, not only are you going to be facing the press defense, but their offense is the best in the Peach Belt Conference, averaging 82 points a game. So a really good team effort, both on all facets of the floor when you're coming up against Lander.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a good job defensively. The big 3 with Harris and Tabitha Daly and Passmore are their leading scorers. And Harris, the returning Peach Belt Player of the Year on the perimeter. And then you've got Daly, who's just a really strong athletic post that's really aggressive. So, and then the other thing is when they shoot it, they're a solid three-point shooting team. Didn't shoot it real good here, but they go get it. I mean, and their guards offensive rebounds. So I think, pursuing the basketball on a defensive glass is important. I think I watched on the bus coming back, I watched in the first 16 minutes of the game here, we had 15 turnovers and gave up 10 offensive rebounds. Now, the amazing thing was, I think it was a three-point game at that time, or a six-point game, that you're still that close, making that many mistakes with the basketball and then giving up that many offensive rebounds. So I think the rebounding is very important, and not giving them second chance opportunities. The other thing is transition defense. I mean, the difference in the game was that run out they got to start the third quarter where they spread it out. We scored the first 2 points, and then they went on like an 11-0 run. And a lot of that was just transition, and they really get the ball down the floor and attack the rim. And so we've got to do a good job in transition defense, stopping the ball and getting our defense set.
I think you harped upon it. What is it about the third quarter that makes it so unique? Because in a lot of times, whether it's a close game between you and your opponent, this third quarter really helps decide the outcome of the games. From your perspective, what is important about the third quarter coming out of halftime?
I always think that, the first 5 minutes of the first half, the first 5 minutes of the second half have always been important in basketball to kind of set the tone for how the game is going. We did not do a very good job at Georgia College in the first 5 minutes, but in the last two games, we've come out pretty well in the third quarter. Went on, I think, a 14-0 run against Flagler, and then extended our lead I think we maybe have lost a point or two, but we played well in the third quarter against North Georgia, and then played very well at the start of the fourth. So, it's just consistency in playing, 4 quarters. Those droughts that we have, and we had it Saturday because we kept turning the ball over late in the game, but it's just hard to play against good teams, particularly the Landers, the North Georgias, the teams that can score consistently and have a 5-6 minute scoring drought. It makes it really tough to have a chance to win.
Absolutely. And last question for you. You talked about containing Passmore and Harris. They're a guard-oriented team, catalysts of both offenses, both players averaging 15 points a game. But defense is something that your program takes really a lot of pride in. And if we look at the Peach Belt standings as of today, in terms of points allowed, you're the second best team in the conference in terms of that. So what is it about defense, especially containing those two guards?
Well, I think defense is a controllable that you can do every day. You can have that effort and that focus every single day. I think basketball is a game where some days you're not going to shoot it as well. The ball is not going to go in a hoop as well as it does. But I think defense is something that you can be consistent at. And we're going to have to, and we're going to have to for 40 minutes. Again, it's a possession-by-possession game against Lander because they're going to keep coming at you. And if you struggle a little bit offensively and they run out a few points and you start hanging your head, guess what? They're going to run out a few more points. I think it's just, we've got to be very focused defensively that, look, we got to play a good defensive possession to see if we can get a stop and then take care of the ball and execute and get a shot on the other end.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time and best of luck.
Thank you.